The message popped up while I was brushing my teeth. It was from someone I didn't know. An unfamiliar name with a profile picture of a smiling woman holding a cocktail. Just so you know, she's not on a girls' trip. That was all it said. 8 words that froze me in place. Toothpaste dripped down my chin, forgotten, as I stared at the screen. I reread it 3 times, half expecting it to vanish, like maybe my tired eyes were playing tricks on me. But it stayed there, pulsing faintly with that little scene mark beneath it. My wife Julia had left 2 days ago. She said she was going on a long weekend trip with her friends from college, something they did every year to reconnect. I didn't question it. She'd shown me pictures from past trips, laughing around beach fires, cocktails in hand. But something about this message, it felt real. It felt like a hand closing around my throat. I messaged back, my fingers trembling slightly. Who is this? The typing dots appeared, then stopped. Started again. Then a reply. I'm Claire. I'm one of the girls on this trip. I shouldn't be messaging you, but you deserve to know. My chest tightened. Know what? Type. This time it took a full minute before she responded. Julia didn't come here with us. She said she couldn't make it. But I just saw her tagged in a photo at a resort, with a man. The phone nearly slipped from my hand. Man. I felt the room spin slightly as I set the toothbrush down and wiped my face. The minty taste in my mouth turned sour. Are you sure? I typed, almost begging her to say she'd made a mistake. Yes, came the reply. I can send you the photo. Seconds later it appeared. A grainy image from someone's story. A crowded poolside bar, palm trees swaying under golden light. And there she was, Julia, my wife, wearing the same blue sundress she'd packed 2 days ago. But she wasn't with her friends. She was with a man I didn't recognize. Tall, tan, a hand resting on the small of her back as she leaned into him, laughing like she didn't have a care in the world. My world, in that moment, shrank to a single point of disbelief. Julia. The woman who'd kissed me goodbye at the door. Who'd laughed when I reminded her to call when she landed. Who'd texted me just last night saying, "Girls' night. You'd be bored out of your mind," face with tears of joy. I sat down on the edge of the bed, phone still in hand, staring at that picture until my eyes burned. Then I messaged Claire again. Where is this? Emerald Bay Resort. Maui. Maui. She'd said they were going to San Diego. I felt something snap inside me. Not quite anger yet, more like the realization that the world I thought I lived in was built on something fragile, something paper-thin. Thank you, I wrote back. You didn't have to tell me. Her final reply was short. I would want someone to tell me. I sat there for a long time after that, staring at nothing, listening to the sound of my own pulse pounding in my ears. When Julia called the next morning, her voice was light, cheerful. Hey babe. Sorry I missed your text last night, we were out late. The girls say hi. The girls? I said quietly, keeping my voice steady. Yeah, you know, Claire, Megan, the usual crew. Claire says hi too, I said. There was silence on the other end. Not even a breath. Then, what do you mean? I mean, I said, gripping the phone so hard my knuckles whitened. Claire messaged me. She said you weren't there. Her voice faltered. She's lying. Then explain the photo, I said. Ooh. Maui. The guy with his hand on your back. Sharp inhale. Then nothing. I could almost hear her thoughts racing. Mark, she began. It's not what it looks like. Then what is it? She hesitated. He's just someone I met through work. He was already going on the trip and... Julia, I interrupted. You lied. You lied about where you were. About who you were with. Her tone shifted, defensive now. I didn't want you to overreact. You always get jealous, and I just needed some space. Space. Echoed. You needed to fly across the ocean with another man to get space? I needed to feel like myself again, she snapped. Not just your wife, or your responsibility, or the woman who does your laundry. The words hit hard, but I forced myself to stay calm. So you thought pretending to go on a girl's trip was the answer? She didn't respond. Tell me his name, I said. When she finally spoke, her voice was small. Eric. Closed my eyes. The name didn't mean anything, but now it would. Forever. Do you love him? I asked quietly. Pause was too long. Long enough to tell me everything I needed to know. I don't know, she whispered. Something in me broke then. Cleanly, silently, like glass underfoot. I hope he was worth it, I said. Mark, please. But I hung up. The next few hours were a blur. I called the bank, froze the joint account, cancelled her card. Then I packed her things. Not neatly, not angrily either, just methodically, like I was erasing a ghost from my life. By the time her flight landed 2 days later, she came home to an empty closet and a folded note on the kitchen counter. You said you needed to find yourself. Start here. That night she called 27 times. I didn't answer a single one. When she finally showed up at the house the next morning, her face was red from crying. She tried the doorknob, but I'd already changed the locks. Mark, please, she said through the door, her voice breaking. I made a mistake. I stood inside, listening, my hand resting against the wood, torn between anger and grief. You lied to me, I said quietly. You looked me in the eyes and told me you loved me while you were somewhere else with him. That's not a mistake. That's a choice. I didn't sleep with him, she cried. I almost believed her, but I didn't. And even if she hadn't, the betrayal was already complete. You cheated the moment you booked that flight, I said. There was silence, then the sound of her sobbing quietly on the other side. When she finally left, the only sound that remained was the faint click of her heels fading down the driveway. I stood there for a long time, staring at the door, feeling both empty and strangely free. Later that night my phone buzzed again. Another message from Claire. She left early. Looked wrecked. For what it's worth, you did the right thing. I typed back. There's no right thing in something like this. And as I hit send, I realized she was right and wrong at the same time. Because in betrayal, nobody really wins. There's only loss, measured in trust, in love, and in the quiet that follows when you finally stop trying to fix what someone else chose to break.